Surface area and volume. So the last day we were in class, we were working on a number of different questions, and there was a couple that I didn't do as it was part of your assignment, which hopefully at this stage has been uploaded. So the first thing I'm going to do with you is correct the assignment that you had to upload the other day. So the assignment was to do question 19, all of it, and to take a picture of it and upload it. And it was also to do question 2, part 2 on page 208. I'm going to start that now by solving the solution that I had done in my copy the other day. So when it comes to odd shapes, the best thing to do is to split up the shape into its main components to make them basic shapes that you can actually get the area of. The first shape, as I was explaining, are the kind of 4 fingers or sticks that are sticking up. It's a 20 by 7 rectangle. So to get the area, you're using length by width, and it's going to be 20 by 7 on your calculator. 20 by 7, when you grab your calculator, I think is 140, but we'll just double check it. Yeah, so that's 140. And I think it is centimeters. Yeah, centimeters squared. Now, there is 4 of those. So you need to do 140 by 4. Which is 560 centimeters squared. Okay, so those 4 things add up to 560. The second shape is that rectangle on the bottom, which is a 49 by 10. So you're going to multiply 49 by 10, and that is 490 centimeters squared. To get the total area, if I add up this with the 4 different ones, so the 4 different ones was 560, the individual one on the bottom was 490, and add them together. So it's 560 and 490, which is 1050 centimeters squared. The second part was essentially 4 rectangles the same size, all off of a square in the center. So the shapes, there's 2 shapes. There's 4 of the first shape, and there is 1 of the second shape. The first shape, it's an 8 by 9 rectangle. An 8 by 9, you can do it on your calculator if you wish, is 72, and I'm just going to double check, meters squared. Okay, so that's the area, 72 meters squared. That's for one of them, but there are 4. Multiply your answer by 4, and that is 288 meters squared. So I have centimeters written down there earlier on. In our last class, we figured out that it's an 8 by 8 box that's in the center. So it's a proper rectangle, it's a proper square that's in the center. And we looked at 8 by 8 being 64. To get the total, you just add these 2 together, the 64 and the 288, and your answer is 352 meters squared. So it's not centimeters, it's meters squared, and I'm just going to double check that. Yes. So that was the first part of your assignment, was to take a picture of that and upload it. We also did question 21 in class the other day. We did all of question 1, we did parts of question 2, and the one I left out was the surface area for the second shape. Okay, and this is on page 208 in your book, so turn over. Okay, and I'm reading from here. So this is a shape I'm talking about, and it's question 2, getting the surface area of the solid in question 1. So, with that in mind, it's really important that you draw out the shape, and you should have this drawing out from the last day. But we discussed that there are 2 faces that are the same size as the front. There are 2 faces that are the same size as the side, and there are 2 faces that are the same size as the top. If you have the measurements intact, all I'm getting you to do is get the area of the front of it and multiply it by 2, get the area of the side of it and multiply it by 2, and get the area of the top of it and multiply it by 2. So the front is 3 by 2. That gets the area of it. But there are 2 of them, When you type this into the calculator, that's 3 by 2 is 6, by 2 is 12. And I'm just going to check the unit on it. So the unit is centimetres. So you're putting centimetres squared. So I have the front done. The next thing we're going to look at is the side. And the side of it is a 5 by 2. It's too tall. So 5 by 2. And again, there are two sides of equal area. So you multiply your answer by 2. 5 by 2 is 10. By 2 is 20 centimetres squared. And finally, the top of it. The top of it is 5 wide by 3 in length. So 3 by 5 or 5 by 3, doesn't matter. And again, there are two sides the exact same measurement. 5 by 3 or 3 by 5 is 15. 15 by 2 is 30 centimetres squared. All you're asked to do now is to get the total surface area, is you're adding all of these numbers up. Grab your calculator if you need it. Well, you should have this done, so you're just correcting your own work. So it's 12 plus 20 plus 30, which is 62 centimetres squared. Okay, and that completes the assignment correction. There was a little bit of work that I asked you to do as classwork to finish off, and that was question 3. In question 3, I showed you how to get the volume at the end of class. So the volume is length by the width by the height in each case. So grab your calculators, and it should be the length is 18 multiplied by 16 multiplied by 8. You can do this all on your calculator. 18 by 16 by 8 is 2,304. And again, that's centimetres squared. Part 2, so the second shape. The length of it is 20. The width of it, and I'll just put it in brackets, is 16, and the height of it is 24. When you multiply those three measurements together, so 20 by 16 by 24 is 7,680. And again, it's centimetres squared. 7,680 centimetres squared. The last shape, the length of it is 10 by 12 by 3 in height. So 10 by 12 by 3 will get the volume. And this one, just be careful, is metres. The last two were centimetres. So you're going to go 10 by 12 by 3 on your calculator, and you're going to get 360 metres. It's cubed, apologies. It's volume, sorry. So all of those should be cubed instead of squared. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've the volume found. The second part of that was that you had to get the surface area of each of these shapes. And that's why it's beneficial to have it actually drawn out. So you can see the front face of this and the back shape are the exact same size. So there's two fronts, there are two sides, and there are two tops. And I started doing the calculations out to one side. So the length by the height is 18 by 16. And there's two of them, so multiply your answer by 2. And I'm just going to do that. 18 by 16 by 2 is 576. Do the same for the side. So it is an 8 by 16 by 2 of them, because there is 2 of them. 8 by 16 by 2 is 256. And finally, the top of this is an 8 by 18 measurement, 8 by 18, and again there's 2 of them. So 8 by 18 by 2 is 288. To get the total surface area, add all three together using your calculator. And that's a total of 1,120, and again it's centimetres area squared. Okay, volume was cubed earlier on. Repeat this for the other two. The front face. So the front of it is, there's 2 of them, 20 by 24. When you do that on your calculator, 2 by 20 by 24, you're getting 960. We'll do the side next, and that's just two of them. 16 by 24. So on your calculator, 2 by 16 by 24, that's 768. And finally, the top of it is a 16 by 20. And there's two of them, and that's the top. So on your calculator, it's 2 by 16 by 20, which is 640. Okay, so this is stuff you should have done, so you're just correcting it. 960 plus 768 plus 640, which is 2,368 centimeters. Area again is squared. And the last question we're going to do is part 3 of question 3 on page 208. So it's getting the surface area of this object, which you should have drawn out. So again, the front of it, there's two of them, is going to be 2 by 10 by 3. So 10 by 3 is 30 by 2 is 60. The side of this is over here. So it's two of them, 2 by 12 by 3. 12 by 3 is 36 by 2 is 72. And finally, the top of this, again, there's two of them, 10 by 12, 240. Okay, maybe just check my maths on that, but I think I'm right. 60 plus 72 plus 240 is 372, and that's meters squared. Okay, so that completes the correction of work from your classwork the other day and from your assignment. So it was question 19 on page 205, question 2 part 2 on page 208, and I also had given you question 3. Today's classwork, and you're going to join me live now, but we're going to start, and today we want to do 5, 6 and 8. Okay, and on it, so I'm just going to write that down, that's on page 209. You're going to start this now. So hopefully at this stage you've corrected your homework, corrected your assignment, and you can see where you've made your mistakes. If you've any questions on it, you can ask me in the live class. But we're starting on page 209, and you're going to do questions 5, 6 and 8. Okay, so 5, 6 and 8 on page 209, and you can join me live now, but you are starting this right now. Thank you.